This stuff over here, I know you're here because you're trying to make sense of all of this. You're gonna get a hold of all of this. You're gonna grasp this. Once you get it, you're gonna set it. You're not gonna worry too much about it. There's two ways that you can get Part D prescription drug coverage. You can get it bundled in an Advantage plan, or you can get a standalone prescription drug plan. So if you get a Medigap supplement, then you're going to need to get a standalone prescription drug plan. Okay. Fair enough. So either way that you go with it, this is how prescription drugs work. So you ever heard the term formulary? Is it familiar to you? Okay, formulary. Think about it as like what's on the menu. So this is, every plan has a formulary of what drugs that they cover. And so if you go to a restaurant, you go to this restaurant over here, they've got their menu, and they have steak and lobster and whatever on their menu, and they have their own prices. And then you go to this restaurant over here, and they have a menu, and they've got hamburgers and hot dogs and chicken nuggets on there, and they've got their own prices. So every Part D drug plan has like their own menu of what drugs that they cover and what their pricing structure is on those drugs. That's called a formulary. Those formularies are broken into tiers. Typically, there's 5 tiers. The first tier is preferred generic drugs. These are the ones when you go to the pharmacy and they don't charge you anything. Usually a zero copay on those. Second tier is non-preferred generic drugs. And they might have a $0 copay, or you might pay a small copay, maybe $5 to $12. The third tier is preferred brand name drugs. Now it's going to get more expensive. And you might have a copay, a very common one that we have seen in the last year. It's about $47. And then you have non-preferred brand name drugs. Those are starting to get a lot more expensive. 30-day supply, you may have a copay of $100. And then the ultra expensive specialty drugs, they say, we're not going to do a fixed copay on those anymore. We're going to do co-insurance. You're going to pay 25% of the cost of the drug. So now that you understand about the formulary, let's go to the Part D drug phases. It starts at January the 1st. And right now in 2024, we have 4 prescription drug phases. The first phase is the deductible phase. And you'll know that you're in the deductible phase because you're paying 100% of the cost of your drugs during that time until you reach your deductible. The most common deductible for Part D plans in 2024 is $545. Anybody know why? It's because that's the most that the government will allow them to charge. Now, it is possible.
So your prescriptions, you're going to pay the first $545 on it?
Yes.
Before it's covered?
Yes.
That don't make sense.
Now, there are plans that have lower deductibles, but the trade-off there is usually that they come with a higher premium.
This is the Medicare Video Guide. We're going to equip you to make informed decisions about your health care, your financial well-being, and your long-term peace of mind. My name is Rodney Powell. Stick around. I'm going to come alongside you and help you to make wise choices. See you in the next video.